Welcome to the Geriatric Millennials. This is Jayme.
And this is Beth.
And we are two oldish, youngish ladies talking about what we're into right now.
Yes, I love these episodes.
I actually do too, because it makes me think. Because always I think I'm not into anything new. But then when I take a moment to actually think about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm into so many things.
So many things.
So,
and I always hear good stuff. I'm like, oh, I'm going to try that. Also, like, I was shooketh today. As we were getting ready to record, Jayme was talking about getting some fashion item, and she pulls out a complete color palette.
Like, oh yeah, I have that in my purse at all times.
Yes, for her summer, because she's a summer girl.
Yeah, it's my fan. It's my fan with all my colors.
I was like very impressed.
Great resource.
It's so good, but I was just like, oh my gosh, like she's hardcore in making sure like her wardrobe is put together.
I am committed. I made an investment in this analysis, and I really believe in it, and I like it, and I want. Now, does everything that I own and everything that I have bought since then match perfectly? Not quite, but it is my goal to have things be in harmony with my season so that I will reach for them again and again. And by the way, we were talking about like boots. And so if I'm going to purchase boots, I want to love them, and I want to feel confident in them. And like they are just, they're going to match everything that I wear.
Yeah. Specifically cowboy boots.
Yes.
Or cowgirl boots.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to say. Yeah. Yeah. She's very rootin' tootin' all of a sudden. I'm liking it. So my list of things that I'm into this go round is wildly diverse and makes no sense.
Same.
Like I was like, I'm not even doing anything in life. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, I am. It's just not what I normally do.
Okay, good. Well, I can't wait to hear, because I have a gamut, like a range of things.
I love that. First thing on my list though was hanging out with people. You would be shocked to see my calendar.
Really?
Like next week alone, I'm hanging out with people 3 days.
What is happening?
I don't know.
None of them are me.
One of them is
yeah.
I don't know. I just have been craving friendship, I guess. And I don't know, just wanting to be around people. The problem is though, it's like I'm not engaging with new people. It is just my crowd.
That's okay.
Yeah. So I'm hanging with people. It's been really good. Like I've been like hanging out with people again.
I think that's amazing.
It's also like wedding and graduation season. So there's been a lot of going to those type of events and seeing a lot of people, and then like seeing people in friend groups and being like, man, maybe I should try and be in friend groups. So
that's so funny. Speaking of weddings, when you said that, I thought to myself, I never go to weddings because I just like the season of life I'm in. I don't know anybody that age is getting married. However, that's not true. I am invited to a wedding this year, and I'm already looking forward to it because
of course you are. Yeah. I was invited to a wedding too, and immediately dread of like, oh my gosh, I have to be around people and I have to wear clothes that are not sweats. So it was a whole thing. Anywho, so that's my first of many intos right now. Is I'm into like my friends and just hanging.
I love that so much. So my first one, this is not going to be a surprise. It's beauty related.
Okay.
Cosmetic.
Okay.
Related. I have two of those. So the first one is a DIY eyelash lift.
Okay. You were just doing eyelash.
I'm all about the eyelashes.
Like little baby additions.
Oh, and I'm into
and now
that.
You're listing.
I'm still into that.
You're perming your own eyelashes.
So what I did, so I had bought this kit, I don't know, maybe a year or more ago. And I tried it. And I think it's one of those things that you get better at as you have more experience. And so the first time I did it, I didn't really know what I was doing. And it was a long time ago. And I don't know. Okay, so this kit has like enough to do it 4 or 5 times. And I kind of forgot about it. And so anyways, just within the last little while, I remembered it and I pulled it out and I decided to do it. And I gave myself, it's like a perm.
Yeah.
It's like a perm for your eyelashes. And I did it, and it was easier. It was faster this time. It was easier. And what I like about it is that I don't have to try and curl my eyelashes, because I have eyelashes that are pretty long, but they're pretty straight too. Or some of them are straight and some of them are a little like swoopy. And so to have them all be like curled. So I didn't So the next time I do this, I'm going to use a different level of curl because I almost curled them like too much because they're almost like going straight up. And I'm not loving that because when I put on mascara, it's almost hard to like get it all the way to the end because it's like I got to go back to like and almost touch my eyelid.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's
if
that explains it properly. But it makes a huge difference in my mind and in when I'm looking in the mirror. I can see a difference.
It's just making me think of Jerry Curl. And there's this movie called Coming to America from the 80s with Eddie Murphy.
Remember that movie.
And then the guy that's like kind of his like rival for the girl, he's like a hair model and he has a sick Jerry curl. And so as you're saying that, I'm just picturing your lashes. And I know that
I don't know what a Jerry curl is.
It's like these little spiral curls and they used to look very saturated and wet.
Okay.
So it was like an African American hairstyle. But I know what you're doing is when you do this perm on your lashes, it just makes them go up and around, right?
Yes.
But I'm picturing, I know this isn't right, each individual like lash curling, having a curly cue and like sagging down. I mean,
so weird.
It's so weird, but I'm just picturing
so
like
funny.
the Jerry curl of eyelashes, and maybe that will be a hit later on.
That's
anyway,
so funny.
That's fun.
It is because I'm into it. I mean, I'm into when it's time for me to put on my mascara. I'm not trying to curl my eyelashes.
Nice.
And I think I may have told you this once, but one time many years ago, I used an eyelash curler.
Oh, you ripped all your eyelashes out,
and
right?
And they were cut by the eyelash curler. It was awful.
Yeah.
It was so...
It's traumatizing.
It was awful.
Because there's not a lot you can do.
And I'm so scared that that's going to happen to me again. So I don't really like using eyelash curlers. But it makes a big difference when you use them. And so anyway, now I have permed eyelashes. I have an eyelash lift. I have not tried an eyelash tint yet on myself, but that's probably going to be next.
Oh
so
my goodness. Okay.
There we go.
What was your other beauty?
Oh, my other one is that I tried a new product by Ilia, which is like one of my favorite brands. And I thought I didn't know if I'd like it because I had tried a sample and I was like, oh no, it's not for me. But I was going to be traveling and I really I'm on the lookout trying to find makeup that has SPF in it.
Oh,
that's like tinted.
Sure. Yeah.
So that I don't have to like put on sunscreen and then put on makeup and then like I just wanted it kind of like all in one type of a thing. And so anyways, I tried it. It's the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint. It's got a 40 SPF.
Oh,
and I actually really like it. I thought I wouldn't like it because it was kind of a dewy finish. Because we live in such a dry climate, I feel like I'm using it. It's almost like a moisturizer. Like it's like a sunscreen, tinted moisturizer all in one. And I'm actually really liking it. So,
yay.
So that's my other beauty related one. I just love that brand so much.
Well,
as you know,
I recently discovered fish tacos from Del Taco.
Okay. Del Taco?
I think it's Del Taco.
Okay. Tell me about them.
I don't know, Jayme. I just like breaded taco now. Like,
yes.
The first time I went there, I went inside and talked to this kid, and he just reminded me of like a 90s stoner kid. And he was just like, man, yeah, you got to get this taco, and this is a secret menu item. He was giving me the lay down. I'm like, thank you, sir. Never have seen him again. But anyway.
But now you know what to order.
But now I know what to order. Anyway, I just get their fish tacos, and they come with a little lime wedge. And this last time I went, it was like, it was so anxiety inducing because I get to the drive up and the guy's like, hey, give me a minute. I'm like, and I could hardly hear. I'm like, what? He's like, I need a minute. I'm like, okay. So I'm sitting there and then there's one car behind me and then two and then three and the guy's not coming back. The guy did not come back to the speaker for like 10 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
And it was one of those drive-thrus where you can't like see around. Like, so I didn't know what was in front of me. So I didn't know if there was a person there. And I didn't want to pull up and then have a person and then me try to order at the window and be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, just stay where you're at. But the person behind me I could feel her getting so agitated.
Yeah, because they're like, what's taking so long?
I'm like, I just wanted to yell at the window, it's not me. Yeah. It's not me. And like, I'm like, you need to not be anxious. This is fine. None of this is but I could feel the anxiety like rising in me. And he finally came on and I was like, actually, I finally was like, hey, is anybody there? And he's like, oh yeah, go ahead and order. So then I ordered and I like drove so quickly around. And then they took forever to come to the window. And he just hands me my 2 fish tacos. He's like, it's on the house. And I'm like, are you sure? And then he's like, yeah. And then as I'm driving, I'm like, I bet these came from the garbage. And I was like, no, they just didn't want you to be a Karen and like come in and like, go crazy.
Because they knew.
because they knew it was
that
like a really long wait, and then they gave me like a bunch of coupons. But
that's cool.
It was very nice. But then it was like, then I was like, why are you having anxiety about these damn tacos? Just put them in your mouth, chew, and swallow.
Well, because of the experience. Yeah. I get it.
But overall, I've been making the fish tacos at home sometimes. I'll get
Okay, so the Trident.
Yep.
The Trident.
Yep.
Fish sticks.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're doing fish sticks.
Get the Trident fish sticks.
I've been doing the beer battered like breast.
That's probably good too.
It's been pretty good actually. Yeah.
So I get the Trident fish sticks.
Yeah.
I make fish stick tacos.
Yeah.
That are so freaking good, and then fish taco sauce.
Yeah.
That I make. Have you?
Oh, you make your own.
Oh,
of course
so good.
You make your own. What is
it? It's so easy. Let's see. It has mayo, sriracha, lime. Mayo, sour cream, sriracha, lime, and garlic powder.
Oh, okay.
It is so good.
Okay. I've just been buying like the sauces from the taco aisles or the taco different taco. Okay. Realistically, I'm not going to make my own, but
you could. Okay. Well,
ingredients, you have to have them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, so good
So
though,
good.
Beth. And then I like to do like shredded cabbage. Like I'll buy a bag of coleslaw.
Same.
Put it on there.
Yep. A little bit cheese for me. I like a little cheese.
Put on fresh lime juice.
Yep.
Wedge, squeeze that on top with the taco sauce. Yeah. So
good. I'm
with
obsessed.
a flour tortilla.
Yes. I'm obsessed with these tacos.
Now I want that.
I know. I'm literally hungry right now. Like I'm going to go to the store tonight and I'm gonna buy some beer battered, fish. And now I'm going to buy fish sticks too. Try those
do you
out.
have mayo in your fridge?
Yeah.
Do you have sour cream?
No.
You could buy sour cream and then and a lime. And then you could make this. Do you have sriracha?
No, I don't like sriracha.
Oh, that's a key ingredient.
Yeah.
Or you could probably do it with like another hot sauce.
Yeah.
And garlic powder. I'm telling you.
I'll try it out. Listen, I'm here for the fish taco.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay. Well, speaking of food, I have one on my list, and that is strawberry shortcake or strawberry angel food cake with whipped cream. Strawberries, fresh strawberries.
Oof,
it's strawberry season, and so good.
So good.
We had this last night. I had 2 servings because I had like
so
I
delicious.
devoured it, and then I was like,
I want more.
A little bit later, I'm like, I want that again, and I had like a full on.
I love
size.
it because it's not like a heavy dessert.
No, it's like light and fresh. Delicious.
Doesn't weigh you down.
Oh, yeah. So good.
A couple weeks ago, prior to it being strawberry season, I bought strawberries because they were on sale at the grocery store. It was a lie. You bit into that thing, no flavor,
that's so
no
sad.
Sweetness.
That's sad.
It was like I couldn't even finish them because it was just like I'm just eating the texture of strawberry.
Yeah, that's not
fun.
Well, so what I do is chop up the strawberries and then put a little bit of sugar on them.
That's fine. This wouldn't have helped those though. But now, listen, I already have my grocery list for the weekend. Fish tacos, strawberry shortcake.
Yes.
So excited. Okay, another exciting food item for me. I found it at the Costco. It's this company called Love, and they make a lot of like organic foods and like vegetarian foods. They have a vegetarian breakfast burrito.
Oh.
And it's like I like to eat breakfast, but I don't have time to make a big thing, and I don't really want to just have toast or oatmeal, blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, I found these and I was so excited because a lot of times Costco doesn't really have like pre-made vegetarian food.
Okay.
Like they have a few things here or there, but a lot of times it's like, I just want like pot stickers, but everything has like a pork in it or a chicken or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need stuff that is grab and go for my lifestyle. I mean, am I out and about and running the world? No, but I am at home not wanting to cook after work. So this burrito, has like a chili sauce in it, green chili sauce in it. And it just has enough spice and enough flavor. And it takes like, I don't know, a couple minutes. And you have this delicious burrito that has a lot of protein and just keeps you going. And I'm just like a happy kid. Like when I can find something that just makes my life easier, so happy.
Sounds lovely.
Can't wait.
Okay. So my next one is a book.
Ooh, okay.
It's actually a series because I'm in the second book now, but somebody had recommended it. Now, this is outside my typical genre that I like to read. This one it's got elements of fantasy.
Okay.
Because there's dragons.
Oh, okay.
And I don't normally read books
You're
like
not really like that, yeah?
But it's called Fourth Wing.
Oh, okay. That's a hot
book talk. I know. I'm sure it is. It's all popular right now, but I read it. And now I'm in the second one, and I'm enjoying it. I'm like,
nice.
Who knew I would like reading books about people riding dragons? I mean,
you're like, I think I'm into it.
I think I am.
Okay.
I've enjoyed the storyline, and there's even like there's a little bit of like
Sexy time.
Yeah, sexy time, like a little bit that I typically is not in most of the books that I have been reading. And that was a little bit like, oh, okay. Okay. Like I wasn't actually prepared for that, but I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it's not the whole book.
Yeah.
But there's
like
a couple scenes
elements,
and you're like, yeah. And then there's like tension throughout the whole story. You're like, it's like building up to it. So
I've just started dipping my toe in like the smutty book world.
Okay.
Like not anything that crazy, just little things, inject. And it's just like, you're just reading and all of a sudden it's like, oh. Like, it's just very like, okay. I have some friends that are like really into it. So I'm like, once I really want to take a head dive in, I know I can get some good stories from them. But I've started a series called Cinder, which I think is a YA series. So basically I was on the Libby app because I was looking at my Goodreads reading challenge for the year. And I set a goal of 100 books. I was ahead for a long time. Now I'm 9 books behind.
Oh.
So mama's got to like be listening to books at work and doing things, like I find myself listening to books after work and on the weekends now. And I'm like, well, this is different, but I'm really trying to hit my goal.
You're going to get that goal.
Yeah. So I started this series because it wasn't too long and it was a pretty easy listen. But it's like kind of like a futuristic take on the Cinderella story. Oh. And the Cinderella character is a cyborg, so half human, half something else. And they live in like New Beijing, and there's been all this stuff happening, and there's like people that live on the moon now. And I'm just like, but it was really good storytelling, and it was a nice like fast paced story and nothing too deep. But it kind of left on like the ending. Nothing was resolved in the ending because there's a second book.
The series, yeah.
And
same with the fourth
book is on hold for like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, like 24 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dang it. So lesson learned.
A lot of people got in that same boat.
Yeah. So anyway, but I've been enjoying it. So I hope it ends well.
Okay. Surprise, surprise. Beth, I have a show on my list.
Whoa. Okay.
I know.
Okay.
Because I don't watch very many of them. Yeah. But we found one that we're watching as a family and we're enjoying it. We have the season finale left. We have one show left, or episode. And it is called Renegade Nell.
Oh, I've seen that.
And we're just enjoying it. It's been a great family show.
Disney Plus. Yeah. It's about like a girl in like the Revolutionary War in America that has special powers or something, right?
Yeah. She has like this little fairy person that like is like a little light and it just like goes into her mouth.
All right.
He just like helps her out, like gives her these superpowers. And so
sounds great.
It is great. It's been really great. So I'm into it.
Okay. Another Disney Plus show is Doctor Who. And I think I've mentioned it before because they had a big like Christmas special with like the old Doctor and they introduced the new Doctor. And now I've watched a few of the new episodes and I love it. It's like so fresh and positive and it's a little sci-fi but it's really interesting. And
do you have to like watch the historical Doctor Who to appreciate it and know what's going on?
Nope. You could start with episode 1 of this next season and be fine.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it a family friendly
show?
Well,
I think that it's appropriate for all ages, but just like anything, like there's scary monsters and stuff. So I wouldn't show it to like little kids because sometimes
I'm
that's
just asking
too much
for my own self as well.
Yeah, I think that your kids would be fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Another show. Wait, one more.
Yeah, go for it.
It's Bridgerton right now. So Bridgerton, the 3rd season has just come out, and I'm actually right now I'm waiting for part 2 because they're being so horrible and releasing them in 2 parts and then having like weeks in between. And I'm like, listen, if you want to do this Netflix where you don't want us to binge it all in one session, just release 2 episodes a week for like a few weeks so I can watch the whole thing. 2 weeks are like, okay, next. I just get frustrated when they do them in parts.
Well, you mean because then there's like a big gap?
There's a big gap.
So you have to pace yourself.
You have to pace yourself.
Which, who does that?
So it's like, if you want me to be paced, then give me.
You pace it for me.
Yes. I a few months ago, I was watching this Korean drama on Amazon and I liked it because they released 2 episodes every week. And I think it was 16 episodes. So it kept me engaged and it was just enough, but it didn't have this big thing that I'm like, what happened again? And now I feel like I have to go back and rewatch and all that.
Yeah, that is annoying.
But I've really enjoyed it. It's very scandalous. So
is it?
It's good. Yeah.
I haven't gone into it. Are you reading the books too? I thought you were.
I was reading the books, but the books are so different from from the show because the show's like multicultural and it's like very inclusive and the books are written, it's just very historical. So it's just like everybody's just white, know? So, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Something else I'm into is, this isn't new, but there's a new twist to it. So I am into Birkenstocks. I like how they feel, and they're very comfortable to me, and I have multiple pairs of Birkenstocks. So what I'm into right now is wearing Birkenstocks in the correct size.
Oh.
So what I have discovered recently is that I have been wearing the wrong size.
Like too big?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And it's really unfortunate because I got a new pair, and I got them in a size smaller, and it fits my foot like perfectly. And now the problem with this is now when I put on my Birkenstocks that are bigger, I feel like there's this giant gap in the back of my heel, and I don't want to wear them. I feel like I'm wearing clown shoes that are too big for me. And I'm like, how was I okay with this last summer? Why did I think this fit my foot?
You didn't know.
Why did I not know?
You didn't know.
The first time I bought Birkenstocks was like 8 years ago. And I had gone to the store and I was debating between the two sizes. And the person at the store convinced me to get the bigger pair. So I'm blaming that person because since then I thought that's my size. I do have other Birkenstocks that are a size smaller, like the wedges that I have. And I knew I wanted them to be smaller because I wanted them to like fit my foot and like, because they're more of like a dressy shoe. And if you're wearing like a wedge or a heel, like you don't want to you don't want to slide down and have that gap and whatever. But I'm like, so why did I not know that translated to the other, like to the sandals? Like what
it was
block
ingrained
did I
in
have
your
in my head?
Yeah, because the salesperson's like, this is your size.
So now I'm in this dilemma because I had bought a pair of Birkenstocks last year, which in my world, they're still pretty new because like I still have my 8-year-old pair because I take care of them and I anyway, they're still new to me because I wore them last summer and that's it. And so like I'm wanting to wear them, but they're too big now. And so now I want the same pair in a smaller size, and Birkenstocks are not cheap.
No.
And I want all the Birkenstocks. I want all these other styles and they're different colors and all this stuff. And so I'm into Birkenstocks in the correct size.
Fair.
And I want to replace all the ones that I have that are too big with the correct size, but I can't really do that yet. I mean, it's going to take time because it's been over the last however many years of like, you know, adding one pair a year type of a thing.
Absolutely.
So I'm just irritated.
I'm sorry.
But I'm still into Birkenstocks, so that's all.
There we go. So I am into procrastination when it ends up giving me free things. So
what are you talking about?
So 2 years ago, my air conditioning in my car went out. And I took it into the shop and they're like, oh, we have to run a diagnosis to figure out what it is and blah, blah, blah. Well, they refilled the Freon. Yeah. And so then it was working. And then that was like kind of later in the summer. And then I didn't need it anymore. And then I kind of just forgot about it.
Right.
Then they were telling me, it's going to cost $2,000 to fix, maybe more. And I was like, well, then I really forgot about it. And I was like, that's a problem for future Beth. And so I just drove my car. And then last summer, guess what? The Freon stayed the whole summer. So I was fine.
Great.
Didn't get hot at all. Well, come about mid-May, it was getting a little warmer and I turned the air conditioning on just for fresh air, right? I just want it to be not cold in my car, but, not stagnant.
Yeah.
Blowing hot air. And I'm like, oh no, this is going to be a problem. And so I called the dealership and I was like, hey, can you go look at my old quote and like let me know how much it's going to be now? And like, well, I'm going to save you about $2,000 because there was a warranty extension because there was an issue with this AC whatever. So I took it in this week and again, it just turned hot here. Like it just turned to where you want AC because it's too much, especially I have an all black car. So anyway, I take it in and at first the guy's like, well, we're going to have to re-diagnose it and we're going to have to like look at things and it may or may not be covered under warranty.
Whatever.
And I was like, it better be. And I was like, then it made me like feel such a way. Like, am I getting bait and switched? Like, and it's like, I hate it because again, I don't know enough about cars.
Yeah. You gotta just blindly trust these mechanics to do you right. And like they can charge whatever they want.
Oh, yeah. And it was like one of those situations like, well, if it's going to cost money, then the whole reason I was calling you for another quote was so I could call around town to see if that is the best deal and like make an educated, informed decision as best possible. Anyway, I'm like, but now I'm just leaving it there. And it took freaking all day. And they're like, we're going to call you at this time and let you know. And I had my mom drive me to work. And that was like a whole way to start the day. And anyway, and then it's like, I don't like feeling trapped somewhere. Obviously, like there's Uber and I have friends and there's people that like there's options.
Right.
But when you're stranded without a car, it feels like a way.
Especially when you're used to having your car. Yeah.
Yes. And so it's like getting later in the day. Anyway, I go to pick it up and they're just like, It was under warranty.
Yay!
So I saved like $2,000. So thank you, old Beth, for procrastinating, because you would have spent so much money and then been bitter to find out that like you hadn't needed to spend that.
No kidding. Do you know how many Birkenstocks you could buy with $2,000?
So many.
Something else I'm into, which is new for me, is having a child that has a driver's license.
Oh,
this is a double-edged sword, though. I'm into it because I'm like, yeah, you can drive. Like, there's been a couple instances where he's been able to help us out by picking up his brother or dropping, like Ubering his brother to his soccer stuff or whatever, or just, you know, having another driver. The flip side of that is it's terrifying. It's stressful. It is
expensive.
It's expensive. I mean, it's all of the things. Yeah, because we had to add him to our insurance. It's like not cheap. And so anyway, it's, so I'm like into it, but also I'm like, what's happening right now? And like, I want him to drive places, but then I'm also like, oh, but he hasn't driven there before. Like, how's he gonna, like, it's stressful for me who's been driving for like 30 years. And I'm like, how is he going to be able to do that? You know, like just things like that I think about. Like, I want to send him over to go, you know, pick up my daughter, for example. And like that intersection is just like a nightmare because you have to get over right away. And then when you're coming out, you have to turn left on a busy street and it's like 4 lanes and you got to turn left and there's always a line up behind you and it's like stressful. And I don't want to like send him into that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. 100%.
But also I'm like, you're a driver. Like you need to like
drive.
You got to drive. You got to experience it. But I'm also just like, this is terrifying because that's like my child. And so anyway, so I'm like into it, but also not.
So something that I'm into, but also not, is that my doctor said that I probably am a little low on vitamin B and I needed to take so she recommended taking this thing called Zip Fizz.
Okay. Yeah. I know what that is. There's caffeine in it, by the way.
Oh, interesting. That's not what I was under the impression it had.
Just so you know. Yes.
Well, that explains some things. Any hoot nanny. So she's like, go get it at Costco. Just drink it twice a week, maybe 3 times just to get your vitamin B levels up. I'm like, okay. Instantly addicted. Not to the caffeine, but to the fizziness of it.
Oh.
And I like the flavors, not the grape, because they only had grape, fruit punch, and orange. Not that anybody cares, but I just need to express that I'm not a big grape girl.
Okay.
Anywho. So I'm drinking them and then all of a sudden I'm not that into it because they come in these plastic containers and it feels so wasteful.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can't this come in like a little packet or something, or
like a biodegradable packet?
Something. And so I started feeling guilty every time I'm doing it and just throwing away the plastic because I'm like, and people are like, oh, you should recycle it. I'm like, I don't think it goes to recycling where I'm at. I think they just throw them in the garbage. So anyway, it was just very like, I'm into it, but I'm like, I was literally Googling if I could get it in bulk with like a scoop, even like a bigger container, because I feel like that's more recyclable than these little weird. Anyway, so into it, but not.
I know. That's kind of how I feel about like press-on nails. I'm like, I'm loving this, but also it's like really wasteful because then I'm like, I have like this package and then I have there's just so much packaging for everything.
I know. And it feels like the onus is on us as the consumers to be the one, you know, we're going to save the planet through recycling all of these small things, which it all helps. But then you realize like how much like a hospital puts in the dumpster every day, or industry and stuff. And then you're like, I'm like a drop in the water. I'm going to try and do my part, but I cannot feel guilty that every once in a while I need to throw some plastic in the garbage.
Right. And like you could really feel guilty about so many things.
So many things. I just want to state for the record that both Jayme and I are avid recyclers. We are not trying to pollute the planet. We're doing the best we can.
Well, you got to look on the bottom. If it's a 1 or a 3, they'll recycle it here, apparently.
But I don't know if it really happens or not.
Yeah, I know. That's
so
the other
like,
thing.
Is it okay? Anyway,
that's the other thing. Okay. Another thing, I'm almost done. Another thing that I'm into right now is recognizing and acknowledging my limits.
Ooh, I like that.
And setting boundaries around that.
That's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, because life has different seasons and like my energy level is different than it was however many months ago in this for multiple reasons. And I'm recognizing that and I'm like, okay, I need to not only just recognize it, but like kind of accept it and then make adjustments.
Absolutely.
And not just try and push.
I totally hear you on that. And that is something that I've been trying to work on for years, it feels like. And it's only starting to come into fruition where it's just like, no, I do not have the capacity to go to this thing or give this much time or do XYZ. And I'm going to just be like, no.
Yeah. Maybe it has to do with our age. Do you think?
I hope so. I hope it just keeps getting more like this. So eventually I'll just be like, no to everybody and everything.
That's so funny.
I just think there's a lot of freedom in that. You know what I mean? Like I can't even imagine how much space it frees up in your life.
Well, yeah, I'm just only trying to free up a little bit.
Yeah.
But it makes a difference.
It makes a difference, but even bandwidth wise, right? Like, so you might not have more time, but you have more energy because you're not like outputting on things that you don't want to do or don't need to do. Or
Yeah. So I'm into it. I'm into that. And last but not least, this isn't something I'm actually into. This is something I want to try.
Okay.
Totally different vein.
Okay.
I want to try self-tanner.
Okay.
I want to try self-tanner. I think I'm being targeted. Of course. I'm always targeted by influencers. And I don't have one specific like type or kind or whatever. But I feel like I don't know enough about it. I don't know how it really works. I feel like that's probably terrible for your skin, but I don't know if it is. And then also, I don't think it's like I want to be tan, but I don't want to like be in the sun a ton and like get the sun damage and like all of that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I'm like, maybe I'll give it a try. Have you ever tried it?
I have tried it. And? So, I mean, just have to say I am a Black person.
Yes.
My skin has very much so lost its pigmentation over the last few years.
Because I remember you telling me like about how like white your legs are and stuff. So I don't know.
I do have to say, like, if you do not go outside ever and hide your legs for 10 years, guess what? They turn pasty. And that's like to the point. I remember one time I was getting a pedicure with my aunt and my cousin who's beautiful skin, like just gorgeous, beautiful tones. And I'm just like all here for it. And then I pull my pants up and it's like a blinding white. It was Michael Jackson after. And I was like, I was Michael Jackson, in the 80s. And now it's like Michael Jackson in, after. And so it was just like, oh my gosh. And so I felt so embarrassed. And I was like, I never want anybody to see my body because it's so white. And especially because my face was tanner then too. So I was mismatched. Anyway, so I got self-tanner and I was using Jergens. They have Jergens has like this natural, you just put it on and it just kind of glows you up a little bit. That helped a little bit. I tried to do a self-tanner, but I realized you really have to leave it on for a lot longer than I did. Like you have to leave it on
around and like walk around naked. Like how do you?
So I see and I was following Black creators, so it's different. So they were putting it on and then they were sleeping in it, like with just like, whatever, pajama, like sweats or something they didn't care about, and then washing it off in the morning because it's dry. So it wasn't like rubbing off. I don't think you'd want to sit on a white couch. I mean, you want to be smart. And then they would take it off in the morning. What about white sheets though? I think you would just sleep with like jammies on and like socks so that you're covered. So you're not going to get,
That's my normal life.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. I also saw this girl, she was using one of those misting water bottles to apply hers to make it like, I don't know, dewy.
Like a spray tan? I don't know.
It's like an at-home spray tan almost. Because like I used the one where you put the mitt and it's like a foam and then you like rub it everywhere. Ads for that. Yeah. But it's just like I learned like, okay, I probably should have worn like latex gloves or something to put it on because I was so new at it. Like I don't want to have like orange hands and it wasn't great. So I still want to kind of like try it a little bit. I also kind of want to try a spray tan. I think that might be a good option for you is just having someone else spray you.
Okay.
Because they just spray you.
Does it do the same thing?
It does the exact same thing, but it's a way easier application because you don't do it yourself.
Oh.
And it might be a good way for a newbie because then they can kind of like, because they can design the color for you, right? They can look at you and you can decide. I don't know anything. And I'm going off of like some reality TV shows I've seen in TikToks. So I know very little.
Accurate information.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, when it comes to that, I bet it is. So when it comes to medical advice, scientific advice, not
but
so
spray
much.
tan, I'm like, I'm on the TikTok for that. I think you should try a spray tan.
Okay.
I don't think they're that expensive. You get one done once and see if you like it. And then if you like it, then you can start doing the at-home thing. I think it's always nicer to have a professional do it first to be like, is this something I'm into?
Right.
And then be like, okay, now let me DIY. Mm-hmm. If you're enjoying the podcast and would like to support the show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram at the Geriatric Millennials, or leave us a positive review and rating, all which help us to grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost. Check out their latest album now. Thank you so much.